everyone knows that you are clicking the photograph, then you become tense. Why you become tense? Because you become aware. What you become aware? That I am doing it, I am sitting here. You become conscious of your activity, of your doing it, and also you become little attached to the result, and it makes the whole action non-spontaneous. Similarly, when we perform any action and become conscious that I am the doer, the action becomes non-spontaneous, and a non-spontaneous action creates negative impressions in our mind. But as we dedicate our actions to that Supreme Source, our actions start becoming more and more spontaneous, swabhavajam, swabhavik. First of all, we have to choose the swabhavik action and make it 100% swabhavik. Swabhavik means natural, like the birds flying. They don't practice, they don't go to a flying school or something. Like the ducks who takes to water, they don't go for swimming classes. If they were human beings, they would have gone. Or if human, interference is there, then immediately they will go to special classes for swimming. That's what has happened to human being. We have forgotten our natural ability, spontaneous ability. Then we have classes for everything. Even smiling, I think there might be classes. How to smile spontaneously. Practice. 1, 2, 3, smile, like that. So there are all this are swabhavik. Swabhavik means natural. Natural means like breathing. See, our breathing also goes naturally. But when you become aware, then suddenly it starts becoming unnatural, start becoming little jerky like. But when you are not aware, it goes on and on spontaneously. But one can do it even becoming aware, one should try to retain the spontaneity in it. Then we will know that the beauty of the swabhavik karma. Similarly, all our karmas, when we remember the source, when we know that the source itself is making us act, the action happening at the body, mind level and the intellect and all is happening because of that source only. In the bhakti literature, you can use the language as Bhagwan hi sab karwate hai. We are not doing, he only is doing. Hanumanji, when he went to Lanka and did all the work, he said, I did not do, you only did it. I just was an instrument in your hand. So similarly, this dedicating action is like making the body, mind, intellect instrument in the hands as though of that reality. So when one reaches this is like a meditation, it's like a practice is required. When one reaches this ability, then the mind will become supremely pure. Then anger, jealousy, greed, pride, all those negativities will not come because they don't have any place in a spontaneous activity. Non-spontaneous activity alone encourages all this pride and fear and all those things. But in spontaneous activity, those things don't have any place. Like a child playing alone, enjoying, there is no place for pride or ego and all. But when he becomes aware, when another child comes and something happens, then all this other emotion starts coming of competition, of jealousy and all. So yata pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam. He who pervades, that which pervades the entire creation. I am working for that Supreme who is not only in my heart but is in the heart of all beings. He is pervading not only the living beings but also the inert objects of this world. So even when I am sitting alone and doing something, I am doing it for that Supreme Lord who is equally present everywhere. Not that he is more present in a temple or he is more present in a human being. No, he is equally present everywhere. So with that thing in mind, one has to perform one's action. Swakarmana. So our karma should be like his worship. Swakarmana tam abhyarcha. Abhyarcha means you worship. Worship that Supreme through your swabhavik, spontaneous action. Your living itself is a worship of God. Your spontaneous, natural action itself is worship of that Supreme. Need not do anything special. If we attain that type of attitude, then just walking, breathing, talking, and expressing our inner that nature, swabhav, itself is the worship of the Lord. Bhagavan doesn't say that you do this, you do invoke, then you do asana and pranayam, or you avahan and padyam, argyam and all those things. The steps in puja, they are meant only for initial practice, but ultimately our living itself is puja of Bhagavan. In fact, the other beings, they are more in tune with puja. An ant or a bird or a fish, just living itself is puja. But living spontaneously, letting the Supreme Reality express completely through this equipment without any hindrance from the ego. That is the puja. Ego should not, our sense of I, the sense of doership should not interfere, and let the actions happen spontaneously. That is the puja of the Supreme. Swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Bhagavan says if one does this, if one attains this, this attitude, while expressing one's swabhavik karma, then that person will attain siddhi. The mind will become pure and ultimately will be able to attain that state of enlightenment. Manavaha, only human beings, they have this opportunity to attain that complete state of enlightenment. So this is very important. So the whole idea about talking about these various varna and the karma is to attain the state of karma yoga. Now some more things Bhagavan says in the next verse. He continues with this karma yoga only. This is karma yoga he is speaking about. Some more points are revealed in the next verse. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushthitat swabhavaniyatam karma kurvannapnoti kilvisham Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushthitat swabhavaniyatam karma kurvannapnoti kilbisham. One thing Bhagavan is saying here very clearly is that swadharmaha shreyan, our own swabhavik karma, our that is itself is called swadharma, is better than performing somebody else's karma. Shreyan swadharma vigunaha api. Even if it has got defect, means it is all trigunatmika only, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. From the standpoint of the Supreme Reality, the gunas have their own defects. They are not the ultimate, they are not the supreme. So they have their own internal conflicts. But Bhagavan says, according to the gunas, whatever be your karma, that is good for you, rather than trying to imitate somebody else. Paradharmat swanushtitat. Rather than to take up somebody else's karma. Paradharma means somebody else's dharma, somebody else's karma. Like suppose I have a particular proportion of Brahman quality, then Kshatriya quality, then those I should express according to my personal combination, rather than imitate others. In short, one should not imitate others. That other can be anybody, even your teacher, can be anybody, even God in his avatar. If you try imitating Krishna, you will have trouble. If you try imitating what you call Ramchandra ji, also will have trouble. Shivji drank poison. We can't drink poison. So, imitating somebody else, that somebody else might be a great person. That person became great because of his swabhavik karma. That person's swabhav and your swabhav may not be exactly matching. If it is matching, if you are the direct copy of that person, then it is a different story. But which is not possible, because no two people are same. Just like our fingerprints, they are unique. So each one of us, we are unique. So it is best not to imitate anybody, but to find our own swabhavik expression of our own karma. There may be similarity. I am not saying that totally we are different. There may be similarities. But to imitate is like discarding or disrespecting our own swabhav and trying to act in a different. It is not the action itself which is important. It is the swabhav which is expressing which is important, which will purify our mind. It is not particular action which purifies our mind, it is the expression of our swabhav which purifies our mind. To give a gross example, suppose you have overeaten and the stomach upset and all, and that fellow vomits and he feels, I am feeling little better. Other fellow is feeling miserable, he goes and checks what he has vomited. You cannot vomit the same thing, or if you try to imitate, it will not help. So, when we perform our action according to our swabhav, it is all our negative tendencies and all getting vomited and getting exhausted. As our Gurudev used to say, vasanas get exhausted when we perform our action according to our swabhav. And each person's vasanas are different. So by imitating someone, it will not help me. I have to express my own swabhav. So that is what is very important here. Bhagavan says, Shreyan Swadharmaha, your own dharma. Your dharma doesn't mean religion. Because when Bhagavan spoke about this, other religions were not there in the world. This is a direct expression of those times. So Swadharma means your Swaka Dharma, your own dharma, your own swabhavik action which was mentioned before. Even if you find that it is defective because of the gunas and all, or if it is totally, suppose one is totally Shudra action or a Vaishya action, you will say, oh, this is not good, that Brahman action is better, or this Kshatriya is better. He said, don't worry about better, worse. If your swabhav is Vaishya, to express your Vaishya quality is good for you. To imitate some Brahman quality is bad for you. In the Ramayana also we find that because of some situation, the Parshuramji, he was born as a Brahman. He was born as a Brahman, but then something happened and he got angry with all the Kshatriyas and he took that Parshu in his hand, the axe, and he decided to kill all those Kshatriyas. So he took up a dharma of a Kshatriya, that quality also was there in him. It was also there, but he took it up 100% and started destroying all those Kshatriyas. Later on he came in contact with Bhagavan Ramchandraji face to face, and he was very angry with him. And he wanted to, but Bhagavan spoke to him and again reminded him of his Brahmana quality and told him that you are neglecting it totally, that you drop this axe and all and focus on tapas. I will take over from where you left. I will deal with all those negative people. Now you drop that axe and focus on tapas, because you have neglected it and that is making you very restless. And he understood. He dropped all those activities and went for tapas. Even here Arjuna, who is full of Rajogun and a Kshatriya, more percentage of Kshatriya was there, but he also wanted to give up this action and focus on just dropping everything and going into silence or something. Bhagavan says, no, this is not proper. You should fight this war. That is good for you. It is better to express my own tendencies, my own swabhav in a positive way. See, there is, as I said, the Kshatriya, Vaishya, Brahman and Shudra going bad itself are the negative elements in the society. They are not different from these four Varnas. The four Varnas going bad or getting what you call degenerated or vikrut itself is the negative elements. So we have to understand our swabhav and express it for the welfare of the world as a dedication to that Supreme, as a worship of that Supreme. So paradharmat swanushtitat, rather than imitating somebody else's karma. Bhagavan says swabhava niyatam karma. These are all very deep psychological secrets revealed here. And the more we contemplate, the more you will be able to appreciate the beauty of this. Swabhava niyatam karma kurvan na apnoti kilbisham. Bhagavan says those who perform their action according to their swabhav, they will not incur any sin. They will not incur any sin. Incur any sin means they will not create any negative impressions in their mind. They will not create impressions which will lead to sorrow and pain in future for themselves and for others, because it is swabhav. It is natural. It is not you are acting or I am acting. It is the gunas which are expressing. They are quite natural, spontaneous. There is no doer there. But when the sense of doership comes, then this good and bad, papa and punya and all arises. But when the swabhavik actions happen, then there is no sense of doership dissolves there. See, again, to give an example of your breathing. In your breathing, you don't have the sense of doership. It happens spontaneously, like what we call the involuntary actions, the heartbeat or breathing. It spontaneously it happens. You don't have the sense of, you don't say, oh, a whole day I had to breathe and nobody was there to help me and he was breathing there, I was breathing here. Nothing like that. It is just going on spontaneously. Swabhav it is. What is applicable for breathing is applicable for all our actions. All our actions happen spontaneously by the qualities of the gunas. Guna guneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. In the beginning also we have seen in other chapters.